What's poppin', boys? Let me fix this shit up. Did a little redecorating here and there, you know? Yeah. Yeah. I haven't posted a video in about 2 days. Damn, that is quite a long time, especially since I promised to post every day. For that reason, I'm getting ahead and getting a bunch of videos done so I can have them ready constantly. You know, the algorithm, you got to keep the algorithm working. Anyways, yeah, let's get into it. Today's video is a little bit on respect. Um, its title is Respect Yourself, Respect Others, Respect Yourself. I didn't really write a lot of points about this, um, but I'll just dive into shit that I know off of the top of my head. Respect is really weird because some people view it like, I respect. Either you're the type of person that you respect other people, everybody to you is a human being, and everybody just gets respect naturally, or you're the type of person where respect is earned. It doesn't really matter who you are, whether respect is earned for you or whether you get respect. You give respect to people naturally until they show you or prove you otherwise. Um, Ultimately, what's more important than how you treat people and how you respect people, or whether you respect people or not, is whether you respect yourself. And respecting yourself can mean a lot of things. It goes as far as like waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth, grooming yourself, taking care of your body. Um, you know, it can go a lot of things. It can go even as far as, like not taking bullshit in like fucked up situations, whether it be with your job, with relationships, with your finances, like definitely people who have respect for themselves keep their finances in check, keep their relationships in check, because they just want to have a smoother life overall. They limit their drinking, they limit their smoking, they control and keep all of these things in check. I'm not saying that people who smoke or drink don't respect themselves, but like there's an extent to where you know that, okay, if you go to work and you're high or you're drinking, like your consciousness, your mind is in a state where it's like fucked up. Don't get me wrong, you have millionaires who smoke and drink at work, but like those guys are their own bosses. Like they've earned the right to do that. They made themselves their own bosses. So if they want to do that, whether that is good for their career in the future, bad or whatever, that's up to them. But if you're just a regular person, like you got to be conscious of the things that you're doing. Otherwise there's repercussions to that. Repercussions in terms of your reputation, repercussions in terms of the rapport you build with people, and just repercussions in terms of the way people look at you. And before anybody gives you respect, or whether some people, everybody's different, right? Before anybody will give you respect or will have respect for you, you got to respect yourself. You got to be, especially for a lot of us, especially for the younger generation, or the generation it's right directly behind me. You can dress any way you want. The dress code is really up to you. This is 2026. We people live in the world that they choose, and that's fine. That's why respect is kind of different in every situation. You have people who are fans of going to the opera. You have people who are fans of listening to rap music. You have people who are fans of listening to pop music and different types of culture, rock and roll, R&B. So to these types of people, respect are viewed differently. And you have people who listen to all of the music, and respect is viewed differently to them. But one thing that stays the same, regardless of all the people, is that respecting yourself never changes from person to person. The definition of what respecting yourself is, or what that means, like that doesn't change. Everybody can agree that your finances, your living situation, like your smoking, drinking, alcohol, whatever situation you have, to have everybody can agree that to be respectable to a certain level, some things must be managed and minimized based on the situation that you're in, you know? So I want to give you some takeaways, and I want to give you some real time like practice and like more scenarios or things that you can do to make, to just be conscious, because a lot of the time consciousness is what changes things, not just listening to a video and not doing anything. being conscious about what you do and what's happening is really the best way to change your situation, right? Because you're programming your subconscious mind, right, when you are conscious to do things that you didn't even know you could do, right? I used to smoke weed like maybe like over a year now I quit, right? And it was as simple as like when I used to smoke every day, I used to be like, yeah, I don't care if weed kills me or if it's the end of me or if I smoke till I die, you know. And then one day I was just like, you know, like my girlfriend told me that I couldn't stop smoking weed. She's like, I dare you, you can't stop smoking weed. I'm like, bet, say no more, you know. And that day didn't smoke, right? And then the next day I didn't smoke, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do it next day, you know. And I was like, it just went on and on and on. I just stopped smoking to a point now where like I don't even really like the smell of weed that much, you know. Like, you know, like I'm not against smoking weed. I'll smoke a spliff maybe like next year or so, or like whenever. But what the great thing is now that I have control of whether I want to smoke, right? I am in a sense more not respect. What's okay if respect is the front, is what people see in the front, then there's something behind respect that supports respect. And that is there's a word for it. Oh my God. It's I don't want to say mindset. It's your doability. It's your ability to set your mind to something and do it. That gets you the respect that's at the front, right? So if it's like respect is the front door, inside of the door is your ability to do shit, right? It's a bad analogy. But if you're able to do shit and control your mind and you're able to put things on your mind and get them done and achieve your goals, then like in your own self, you gain self worth. And that self worth gives you that respect of yourself. When you value yourself and you think you're worthy and you're able to, and capable, then you automatically gain your own respect, which commands the respect of others. Whether they're in a different class than you, whether they're richer than you, whether they're poorer than you command the respect because you are able to accomplish things just by setting your mind to do it, right? So stop smoking weed was one of them, right? Cutting down my alcohol intake was one of them, right? I used to drink all the time before I went to work, right? Now I only drink when I come home. I'll have a beer, and on occasion, like I'll pour a shot like a Ray and Nephew. You know, today's my day off. You know, I'm Jamaican style. You know, we only drink like Ray and Nephew. You know, like everything else is just weak water down. You know, so when you enjoy yourself, you're supposed to go all out and enjoy. You know, but like you have to be able to control yourself to stop that all out enjoyment and put it on a pause just so that you can live seriously for a moment. And a lot of the problem is I'm getting to the end of this video. A big problem is that people don't enjoy their lives, which is why they seek escape simply because their lives aren't going the way they want. Well, newsflash, life's almost never going to go the way you want unless you make it that way, right? And what stops a lot of people, or what stopped me from like drinking and doing all of this fucked up shit, smoking, whatever, was realizing that life's not going to go my way. But hey, the beautiful thing is I get to build my own life and choose my own decisions, right? One of the most terrifying things that terrified me since like I was 20 years old is being 30 or 40 years old or 50 years old, not having life the way I wanted, right? I kept that in the back of my head, and that really, really scared me like shitless, you know? So that's also an inspiration, you know, to what led me to stop smoking. And I'm able to focus on my goals and get shit done and set out, you know, like things. I still do like veer off here, there, yeah, because I'm a human being, right? Nobody's gonna say you're gonna be perfect, right? But like to respect other people, you have to respect yourself. And to respect yourself, you have to have a self of self-worth. And to have a sense of self-worth, you have to accomplish the things that you set out to do. To accomplish the things that you set out to do, you have to have the right mindset. And the right mindset starts with doing small things that are manageable and slowly increasing, right? Feeding your subconscious mind with like I don't know, I don't want to say reset, but feeding your subconscious mind with the idea that hey, one day I got to stop doing this, or for me, like feeding your subconscious mind and scaring yourself as well. Like, I don't want to be 40 years old still doing this, blah, blah, blah. Because you look at people on the road who, like, now I pass people who are like in their 50s and they're smoking cigarettes and weed. I'm like, okay, it's fine. You can be rich doing whatever you want to do. But like ultimately, like I want to live a long life, a long, healthy life, right? So like, why not just like the thing is, when you're 40, 50 years old, it's too late to start exercising. One thing I noticed is just like when you don't go to the gym for like years and you go for the first time, your body becomes super sore, right? Because those muscles haven't been worked out in a long time. Imagine not going to the gym for 30 years until you turn like 50 years old. Some muscles have stiffened up so much to a point where working out will just not get you to that level. But if you had been working out from your 20s all the way to your 50s, you'd be surprised that working out is a breeze for you, right? So like you got to look at like it's almost like money, like it's almost like exercise. Your health is almost like compound interest in a sense, right? Where if you start early, you can compound on what you have. So if you start working out early, exercising early, setting your mind early, you can compound on that later. So like so that your body doesn't get fucked up when you go to the gym. You feel great. You feel younger than ever, right? Your mindset doesn't get fucked up when something happens, your car crashes, you go bankrupt or whatever. You're able to deal with these things, right? And that all starts with self-respect. That's how other people respect you. And self-respect starts with self-control or whatever the fuck I was saying earlier. I can't remember, right? Self-respect is the first thing, but behind self-respect is the ability to put your mind to things and get it done, right? Self-control ultimately is is somewhere in there, but you got to have respect for yourself and you got to know how to tell yourself, right? Not yourself, but your subconscious mind and set it in the direction you want to go. At the end of the day, you're the captain of the ship and it's your life. But just think of your life as like GTA. You're the character, except you are in like you look through your own eyes type of view, right? You gotta do you want the best stats for your character over time, long term? Like imagine your character is like fucking their stats is drinking and smoking and their bank balance is like zero by the end of like by the time you reach the final boss. It's like, come on. Anyways, I don't want this video to get too long. I did promise to be releasing something soon. I know. I've been loafing. I have it all complete. I just need to figure out how to execute it because I want it to be like a ongoing thing. Yeah, so I'm just asking for a little more time. Today is Thursday. I have work so often. I don't think it's gonna be released until at least the 20th. Yeah, I need more time. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys very much. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you later. Peace.